Hey guys, so today I wanted to try to talk about long-term self-esteem because a realization I came to lately was that I can do things that make me feel better about myself um, for a time, but then they stop making me feel better about myself. They often make me feel worse about myself, and I can never sort of get the good feeling back. So I can do new things potentially that make me feel better about myself, but with the same things that used to make me feel good, it's like, well, that doesn't count anymore. It's not good enough anymore. It's like being desensitized to it almost. And there's a few reasons I kind of wanted to talk about this. One is, with these videos, obviously, my first few videos, I was a complete mess, and I sort of got over that and felt like I was doing a better job of, speaking well, talking about things in a way that was potentially interesting or useful, and feeling all right about it. And at some point during these past few months, kind of coinciding with, just not feeling great overall, it just became clear that I don't feel that way about making videos anymore. I don't feel like I have anything useful or interesting to say or a good way to say it. I have a hard time feeling like my viewpoint right now is, sort of relevant to anyone because I'm kind of stuck again. And so yeah, that's been difficult and definitely part of the reason I'm not making videos as much at the moment. Um, and the reason it occurred to me to make this video about it is I was thinking about our Discord support group. So if you don't know, I recently started a Discord server for any of you guys that have AvPD or think you might to come hang out and chat. And we're going to do voice call meetings. And our first one is tomorrow. So that's kind of what this is about. I haven't been posting pretty much at all in the server, and I feel really terrible about that. I said in my community post I was going to try to interact every day. I failed miserably. I've interacted 3 or 4 times, other than to do the scheduling related stuff. And I feel really bad about that because, I want it to be a useful thing for people, and I know that just given, the problems that we have to deal with, it's really hard for people to, just feel like they can just pop in and say whatever is on their mind because, that's kind of our whole thing is being super socially anxious and not wanting to, having a hard time interacting in general and not necessarily being comfortable opening up about stuff like that. So I really felt strongly that it's sort of, on me to, and I don't mean this in like a negative way. I mean, I wanted to take it upon myself to sort of, be in there all the time, at least once a day, and, get conversation going and open up and make sure that other people felt like they could too. And I just haven't been able to do that. And there are probably a few reasons for that. I've definitely still just been super depressed and anxious in general, but the server itself does make me a little bit anxious too. There are a lot of people potentially reading anything you type in there, right? It's 70 or so of us. And that's really nerve-wracking for me. I've never been a fan of Discord or live chat things in particular because of that, because the whole this person is typing notification and all of that, just the whole, feeling that you post something and then immediately everyone can be looking at it. And I don't know. I always feel like if I say something, I'm going to be in the way of something that somebody else either said or might say soon in response to something else. It's really stupid, but yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about. So I haven't been doing a very good job of getting past that yet. I am still trying. I read every single thing that you guys type in there. Um, but yeah, I need to do more typing myself. I'm trying. Um, and, sort of part of the reason why that's been difficult for me is, like I was alluding to, it's the whole long term self esteem thing. Because, I got it in my head that I was going to do these meetings first with my in person format. I spent something like 5 weeks working on a website for it, and I am still proud of the website. Um, and, then I went out and found members with the help of my sister and, posting flyers and stuff. And I made it happen, and that was something to be proud of. And then we had 3 meetings, and I didn't feel like I did too bad of a job, especially in the second meeting. I mean, the third one didn't actually happen, it was scheduled to happen. And so, it doesn't make sense because, on one hand, I can think back objectively and be like, I sat down and made that website, and not that I didn't think I could do that. I already knew how to do it, but it's really hard for me to just actually sit down and finish something because I feel so certain that everything I do is a waste of time because it's never good enough. And it's sort of the same thing. Then when we got to the meetings, I feel like I did a good job at least the second meeting. And it's just weird because after a time, that just stopped mattering. It's just like I can think objectively and still be like, yes, I did do a decent job at that. I can do it again. And it could be helpful to some people. And I would like to be helpful to people if I can. But yet, for some reason, it just doesn't feel like it was helpful to people. It doesn't feel like it ever could be helpful to people. And it feels like I'll just do, if anything, worse of a job in the future. And so with our first meeting tomorrow, that's kind of what's on my mind right now is just feeling like I'm gonna let everybody down. And I know that nobody's gonna say that I did, right? You guys are all very nice. But I feel like I'm going to feel like I did afterwards because I'm just not going to do good of enough job of speaking and keeping the conversation flowing and, sort of making sure we talk about things that are beneficial to us so that we go out of the meeting and feel better about it. And it's the weird thing. It's the weirdest thing that I know that even after the meeting, even if it went very well, I'm still not going to be satisfied with it. And it might make me feel okay in the short term, like, okay, at least that wasn't a disaster. Now the rest of this day can be smooth sailing, or a week, or however long. But, it's just such a weird feeling that I feel like it's just going to stop mattering to me at some point that I did a good job, even if I do. So it's really weird, and it happens with plenty of other things too. I don't think I need to get into a ton of specific examples, but like, since I've been very depressed and anxious recently, I haven't been doing my runs on public trails. I have a place I run with my brother sometimes. I've still been doing that a bit. But it's just sort of whether it's about the social aspect of that I was doing, or whether it's about the exercise aspect, even though I am still getting exercise. It just feels like, even though I did it, it just feels like it's not impressive, and it doesn't make me feel better about myself, and it's just so weird because it did, and it doesn't anymore, and it makes it really hard to keep doing things when they 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 stop feeling good. Um, and there was one other example I wanted to talk about, which I've now completely forgotten because my brain is a total train wreck these days. Oh, right. I guess writing in general, but also I mentioned a few videos back. It's only been a few because I haven't made very many, but that I had started going to a cafe to do some writing, and I felt like it was sort of pushing me to be productive without being too anxiety inducing. And I did feel like that, and I know that I felt like that, and I know that I did get some writing done, and it wasn't half bad. Um, it would need some editing for sure, but generally, I felt pretty good about what I was doing by doing that. And at a point, it just stopped mattering, you know? It's so weird. I guess that's kind of what I'm making this video is about, is just, I'm curious if any of you guys experience the same sort of thing where something feels like a useful step forward for you that makes you feel better about yourself and makes you feel more confident around other people, and then it just stops mattering. And when it stopped mattering, I stopped doing it, and that feels really horrible because, you know, it felt like by doing that I wasn't going forward enough for my brain, but by not doing it I feel like I'm going backwards, and it just makes me feel very stuck and not able to do anything. And it sort of leaves me questioning, you know, like, what is it that I would be doing? What should I be doing? What what's left that could make me feel better about myself? And it's really hard to know. It's really hard to know, and I don't really have any idea about it at this point. And so that's sort of why things have been a struggle again lately. You know, it's like, I don't know. Just things that feel good don't last when you're dealing with AvPD. It's just like, if someone says something nice to you, it makes you feel great, but it doesn't put a dent in how you feel about yourself in the long term. So when it's not immediately in your mind anymore, then it's just like your brain is acting like it never happened, even though you can logically go back and say, I remember that made me feel really good. Now it makes me feel nothing. Yeah. Really weird, really depressing video, but I guess that's kind of what you guys signed up for, right? So, yeah, anyway, at least I managed to do it without a script, and it was rambling, but in an alright way, I think. Sort of talked about the things I wanted to talk about. And, yeah, that's about it for now. I'm going to try my best to chill. I'm not very good at chilling. I'm not a very chill person. I tend to listen to really loud music to try to calm myself down. And, you know, as far as things can successfully chill me out, it's a pretty good one for me, which is very strange. But yeah, going to try to chill out, and hopefully I'll wake up in the morning and I will feel psyched about our meeting, and I won't feel weird about the fact that I have to talk to people and I can't look at their faces, because I've talked before about how not being able to see people's body language and facial expressions really throws me off. So going to try really hard to hopefully just wake up not worried about that, and feel like I know exactly what to talk about, and feel like it could potentially make some other people and me feel better for a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to end this 2-minute or so outro now. Have a great day.